What does an event like the Super Bowl really do for the sports betting market?
Well, it is the most important sporting event in America every year. And so March Madness is probably a close second, but there's nothing that replaces the Super Bowl. And for us in the gaming industry, it is just since May of 2018 when Americans have been able to bet legally on sports. I think that the crazy thing is Americans have bet on sports as long as there have been sports to bet on, but we now have, as you said, 33 states plus the District of Columbia where you can legally bet on sports in a safe environment. So look, Super Bowl, unbelievably exciting. You mentioned GeoComply and some of the things. Some of the things that we've seen that are really, really interesting is not just the traditional bets, which is who's going to win and by how much, but some of the in-play bets, like who's going to be the MVP and how many rushing yards is somebody going to get. And what that means is people have an interest that is even more engaged than just simply the outcome of the game.
Well, yeah, I mean, over the weekend, Drake's bets, for example, in game and the multiple bets he made was a definite point of conversation. You talked about sports betting going online also and becoming legal. How has that changed the way people bet? Has it attracted people who may have not done it before, or even people, frankly, like me, who didn't even pay attention to sports before?
Well, I think it's a way for the casual fan as well as the super engaged fan to find different ways that make them comfortable. And certainly everybody carries around a mobile device, and that's how they get their coffee and that's how they order food. And so the ability to make wagers in a game and on a contest kind of conforms with consumers' everyday life. And so we now have 20 of the 31 states that are active that have some form of mobile sports betting. And so that really does allow people to bet in a place in a manner in which makes them want to do it, whether it be casual or in a more engaged fashion.
Absolutely. And Bill, I wonder, just taking a look at sort of what's happening here in the U.S., I mean, is the growth of legal sports betting here in the U.S. having a broader impact outside of the U.S. in other countries? Are we seeing the same expansive growth elsewhere, or is the U.S. really the leader at this point?
Well, it's interesting. We're actually, I would say, if we're anything, we're a laggard. Many of the countries around the world have had legal sports betting in their countries for a long time. Now, some of them haven't necessarily gotten it right. There have been advertising and sports and marketing bans in countries like Italy and Spain and the UK, where the US has really the Supreme Court ruled on a case that said that on a federal piece of legislation that said the only place you can legally bet on sports is Nevada. Once the Supreme Court threw that out, state by state, the legislatures moved forward with allowing the same kind of betting that other countries have enjoyed for many, many years. So it's really, the US is really just getting its footing in the sports betting space.
I want to recognize something that's going on over here as well. On one hand, you have crypto companies that have been advertising a lot. You also have companies like Caesars Sportsbet and sports betting. And also you have crypto going down. You have the stock market getting volatile and people using sports betting as a potential investment. What do you say to people who are doing that? And given that some of these people are first timers, what concerns may you have about their first time at the wheel here?
Well, certainly, we think that it's really, really important that people recognize that sports betting is adult entertainment, and the entertainment should be underscored. This is not a way to pay your mortgage. It's not a way to pay your rent or feed your family. It's a way to have fun in the same way that going out to dinner or a show is fun. You get a little bit of thrill from being able to, bet a reasonable amount of money on an outcome, whether it be, an in-play bet or the actual final score. But it is really, really important that people recognize that this is entertainment. And I think it's also really, really important, as you mentioned, advertising, that, there have been a lot of advertising in and around sports betting over this past NFL season and including the Super Bowl. really, really important to remember. People didn't just start betting on sports when it became legal. They had been betting on with local bookies or offshore online websites that don't have integrity. They're not licensed and regulated. And there's no guarantee that if you win, you're going to get paid.
Right.
In a legal, safe, and regulated market, you are guaranteed consumer protections and those sorts of things. And so the advertising has helped moving sports bettors away from an illegal market into the legal market, which is a really good improvement.
All right, Bill, if you can, in just one word, what's the next big event that we should look out for sports betting?
Well, I think March Madness
Okay.
Traditionally is a exciting time. Not as big as the Super Bowl, but exciting for a lot of people.